Welcome back to the day before. In my previous video for this, we had a look at some comparisons basically between the character creation for the day before and for Destiny 2. Then we had a look at one of the tooltips in the top left corner, the comparison between the GTA 1 and the day before. And quite a few people have said that I was reaching, and I was trying to find something to point out negative about the game. And a lot of people also mentioned that it's fine to take assets and stuff, or take ideas and inspiration from other games, because if it works in the industry, gamers like it, then it's good to see that stuff in other games. And I completely agree, but games don't take ideas or inspiration from a plethora of different games and build their entire game around those ideas. You normally have at least the plot of the game, like the genre it's in, there's something always unique about a game. The day before takes so many things from other games and just merges them all together. And in this video, we're going to go through, I think there's 3. So I'll just say we're going to go through a few different comparisons that the community pointed out in that comment section, and we're going to take a look at them. But there's one thing before we jump into this. Basically, I've just got a bunch of videos, I've paused them, so essentially we're looking at screenshots, and we'll look at the comparisons in a moment. But just quickly, before we do get into that, if you think about how long game development takes, and I've never developed a game, so I wouldn't know the ins and outs of absolutely everything, but I'm a gamer, I've followed games for years and years, it's actually coming up 26 years now. So I've been around to understand how long things can take, and video games take a very, very long time to develop. The developers for the day before are claiming this game was made in 4 years. They've got a scheduled release date of March 1st, and they have said that it's taken 4 years to develop the game. If you look at a game like The Division 2, that took about 2.5 years. I'm going to say roughly 2.5 years. Because from what I've heard, they started development just after The Division 1 released, and then 3 years after The Division 1, we had The Division 2. So I'd like to say The Division 2 took about 2.5 years to develop. That is a big, big company with at least around 600 employees that have all made a game of that scale previously, and are also under the Ubisoft umbrella. So they have a huge budget, they've got a lot of funding to get the resources in and do what they need to do. But with over 600 people, it took them 2.5 years. Now this game, according to them, it's been developed over 4 years. I believe they have about 100 employees. They all work remotely, and they haven't had a big budget. In fact, I think the majority of the people working on this stuff are in as volunteers. So they're not even getting a salary for working on this game. But they are acting as though everything is going really, really smooth with this. And a lot of big titles, big ambitious open world games, they have a lot of crunch time in there for developers as well. So there are so many red flags, and I'm going to keep pointing them out, whether people like it or not. I want this game to be real, as much as many of you do, but I just can't see it being anything like this whatsoever. And even if it is, I can't see them staying out of court. There's going to be so many companies at them for the stuff they've done. Because look at this screenshot right here. This is a screenshot of inside the gas station. And I know creating things in games, you just create something and it's made. So there's going to be similarities to a lot of different things. But you look at the comparison I made of the character creation to Destiny 2. The faces look very, very similar. And there's no way they have a UI artist or whatever that role is to create the UI for the character creator. They haven't got someone from Destiny working on this game. This company making this game doesn't even have its own studio. They're all working on minus 71 degrees Celsius mountains and things like that. But look at this screenshot right here. You've got double doors into the gas station. You have 2 shelving units. You've got a couple of doors. You've got the counter which goes round, is like an L-shaped counter. And look at this screenshot that I'm about to show you now. So looking here, you can see at the top left, this is Life is Strange 2. And you have a look at the layout of the shop. It's just called a shop in this game. It's a gas station in the day before. You've got the double doors as the entrance. You've got the 2 shelving units. You have the L-shaped counter, then you've got a couple of doors. It's a very, very similar layout. It's not going to be identical. They haven't just straight up stolen it. And normally, when games do take ideas from others and implement them into their own, it's because the industry, like the people involved, the gamers and everything, they like that sort of stuff. But there's always something unique. There's always something the developers, the artists, like they've created something to put into the game. They've made their own stories and everything like that. But the day before just seems to be built on other games. It's just a mixed, like, it's basically mix and match of a plethora of different video games. So I've pointed out Destiny 2 and GTA. I've heard about The Long Dark. I've seen Vigor. I've seen lots of different games popping up. You've got Life is Strange 2. And just quickly before we jump into the next comparison, I want to show you a comparison on the exterior of the gas station as well. If you look at this blue sign, this is from Life is Strange 2. The blue sign above the gas station says Minimart, and it's got a hot dog image there, and that is Life is Strange 2. Now switching over to the other one, this is the blue sign above the day before's gas station that says Suntrack. But not only that, if you take a look, there are two gas pumps. The gas pumps are very similar, and they even have the bollards at the end of like where the gas pumps are. There's just too much for this to be coincidence. I strongly believe it's that situation of, can I copy your homework? And the other person says, yeah, but change it a little bit. This isn't taking ideas or inspiration from other games. It's stealing their ideas and literally just changing the text or adding a different image on top of something. They've done this with far too much stuff in the game. These quote-unquote developers are frauds. And I don't believe they have a single creative, unique idea between them. It looks as though all they've done is moved a couple of bits around and simply just removed a pillar from the gas station. That's all they seem to have done. Even the shape of the gas pumps is incredibly similar. But now let's get on to another comparison. So this one is in the shopping mall that they showed us for the day before. And obviously a shopping mall is going to have multi-stories, it's going to have escalators and things like that. But look at the way the lights dangle in this picture. And this stuff's been pointed out by the community. I've just come to the videos and paused them at the right times to show you this stuff. If you look over here, you see the single escalators and the lights dangling up here. And then if we switch over to this screenshot, this one here obviously is not going to be completely identical. They don't want to get done for copyright and things like that because it's not their actual assets. It's not their idea or anything like that. So if they just straight up stole this mall, if they managed to completely recreate this, yeah, they would have a lawsuit or two on their hands. But if you look at the lights just underneath the text here, it's a dangling light system. And you look at the escalators and the way they go up and they're crisscrossed. And like just basically, the mall they've showed us looks similar to the one in Spider-Man Miles Morales. You've also got the gas station, which is incredibly similar. Like it's a lot closer of a comparison to the Life is Strange shop than what the mall is. The mall does look very similar, but I'd say the Life is Strange one is really, really close. And just the fact you've got two shelving units in both, you've got the L-shaped counter, you've got the double doors as the entrance. There is a lot that is like similar to each other between the day before and Life is Strange. But then it's not only that. I pointed out GTA and Destiny 2. Look at the fucking cover art for this game. This game's cover art has been ripped from The Last of Us. And I don't think you're really going to get any closer of a comparison than those two. They've created a Division sort of city landscape. They've created, like, there's lots of different stuff. There's farmland areas, like Days Gone and things like that. And let's get into the final screenshots because it seems as though they've taken inspiration for a shopping mall from Spider-Man. They've taken the idea of the gas station or the shop from Life is Strange 2. I think it was The Long Dark that had the survival elements in the bottom left corner. Like the symbols and everything look similar. And I think it was the repairing of the vehicle. Like, I don't know if it's the way you do it or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but someone mentioned Vigor as well, the game Vigor. But look at this screenshot here, and this is the day before again. Look at the style of the trees. Look at the entire, like, terrain. It looks like SnowRunner. But there's another game it looks like as well. And that game is Days Gone. Look at the style of the trees in front of the character. The fact that it's all grey and muddy and everything like that. It just seems as though the day before is built on other game ideas. There's nothing original and creative in there whatsoever. If there were a few things here and there, so say they did rob the cover art of The Last of Us, they did take the entire idea behind survival in The Division, the whole city landscape and everything like that, and then they took a load of mechanics from Days Gone. If it was those 3 games, and they created a load of unique stuff to go and build their game, fair enough. But the entire game, and I mean the whole game from top to bottom from what they've shown us, it just feels like there's nothing in there whatsoever. It's just built around the inspiration from other games. And I can't remember properly, but I think there was one of the early gameplay trailers. I showed one of the cars that they had shown in their gameplay trailer because it looked almost identical to a car from The Division 1. And at this point, there's too much for it to be coincidence that this stuff looks similar. There's no denying there's a lot of stuff that's been ripped from the idea that another development company had, or another artist had, or whatever. This stuff that I've mentioned in this video was brought up by the community. I looked through the comments, I found some of the closest comparisons that I could find, and I mean, everyone's spot on. There are so many people out there that are still willing to defend this. I saw a lot of comments of people talking about the beta, because a lot of people said that on their official Discord, they said they don't have enough time to run a beta. So I went and joined their Discord, I jumped into their Discord, and I went into one of the channels, I can't remember which one it was, might have been announcements or something like that, and they posted 2 FAQs for the day before. One on the 22nd of December 2022, and the other one 9 days later, New Year's Eve, the 31st of December. And in both those Q&As, they mentioned that they will be having a beta before the launch of the game. We are less than 2 months away from that launch, and I've been playing games for the last almost 26 years, and I would say that developers like to have their betas out around a month before launch or something like that, sometimes sooner, sometimes further away from the release date or whatever. But typically, if you're going to run one beta, you're going to run it around a month, that sort of a time frame away from the game's release. So that after you've closed the servers down, say you run a week-long beta, you've got a couple of weeks to add some finishing touches, to polish some things up that players found wrong with it. So we should, realistically, get a beta by the beginning of Feb. But we are, we're 8 days into January now, so we still have a good 3 weeks or so to hear anything. But it's always happened with these developers, they've got a very shady history. It's always happened that after they make an announcement they want to make, they go silent. And they go silent for as long as they want to, until they have another announcement. So back in June, they mentioned something about the day before, then they went silent for 6 months until they came back with their big mega event. Their mega event was 20 seconds of gameplay shared on the Nvidia channel or whatever. But then they also had another announcement, which was their Continent app, which they didn't stop promoting throughout the entire video they uploaded. But they also made sure they gave that special thanks to Nvidia for the brand new Lenovo Thinkpad computers that they were all given. I don't know how they've managed to do it. I mean, anticipation hype, that's probably the biggest reason, but it baffles me that Nvidia have jumped on board with this. And you would think that someone would have seen some sort of gameplay and reassured everyone that this game is fucking real. But there has been nothing on it being a real title that's actually releasing in March. Because this game's had multiple delays. It was supposed to be transitioning from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5. They announced that 2 weeks before the supposed release date, or something like that. It weren't too long before. And then all of a sudden it comes, March 1st, they do this Nvidia event for 20 seconds of gameplay in January, and that transition from Unreal Engine 4 to 5 made the game look worse. And it might not be to drastically upgrade the graphics and everything, but what they did show us, it looked a lot worse. I've seen a lot of hit reg issues, like the bullets registering with the enemies. They claim it's a really ambitious... Let me quickly go through a couple of screenshots before we wrap this one up, because I took some screenshots of their Discord. They're on my phone, so I won't be putting them in the video, we'll just talk about them. But there's a question here, and this was on the 22nd of December FAQ on their Discord server. How large is the game's open world setting going to be? The day before features a large open world that you can freely navigate both on foot and by car without any loading screens. That's another ambitious thing that they've said. Something big companies can't actually manage to do. And this company, a brief look at their history, they sold a game 6 months after releasing it, they abandoned another one 3 months later, then they made a 30-minute mobile game, and then they released a game that they keep promoting alongside the day before called Prop Night, which isn't anything original or unique or creative in any way, shape or form. It's a mixture of Prop Hunt and Dead by Daylight. And when I say promoting it alongside the day before, I mean the game's already out, but every time you see a tweet about the day before, they always put hashtag Prop Night in it too. I honestly think the day before is just being used over and over again. Like, it's just constantly being used to promote their other stuff. The Continent app, that pissed me off. But it says the focus is on the big city and its surroundings, but players will also be able to explore farms, vast meadows, small settlements, majestic forests, and snow-capped mountains. It's a hand-detailed world aiming to convey the romance of the post-apocalypse in which players could live their own stories. Then it says here, roughly how long will the main story in the day before be? Everything will depend on your style of playing and updates. We are creating a huge world of many stories, not just one main story. It will be a world where you can feel the atmosphere of post-apocalypse, live in, and look forward to the new stories to happen. Then there's another one, do you have any plans for a pre-launch beta or demo for the day before? We will have a pre-launched beta, but only for thousands of lucky ones. It's great that our publisher has so many employees. What's your fucking publisher got to do with a beta? I don't know whereabouts it is on their Discord server, but a lot of people have said that they've cancelled the idea of a beta. I just couldn't find it. But I did find this FAQ, which is from a little over a week ago. So then they said, let's talk about the footage that was revealed. Was it a part of the actual, and will the final game look like that? Okay, the FAQ is a little bit typoed, or just words missing from the sentences, but they said, we intend to take the survival MMO genre to a whole new level. The amount of companies that have said that shit before. We are constantly improving the game, including graphics and animations. Every week our team makes new breakthroughs in order to give players the highest quality game, so the final game will be much better. So the footage they revealed, the final game is going to be much better. Every week their team makes new breakthroughs, and that's on, like, they're improving the game, including graphics and animations. So this was only posted a week ago. Their launch is in 2 months. And it seems as though they're still in full development mode. Do you have any plans to bring your game to PS5 and Series X? It was slated that it would release on March 1st across all platforms. What did they say? We will not be able to port the game to your NES, your Nintendo Entertainment System, but we are considering the next-gen consoles. I mean, the current gen at this point, but they carry on to say, wait for a special announcement. So what they'll do is probably give everyone 6 months, not actually release this game on any platform, then give a special announcement, coming to Series X in 2020 never. In what category is the day before classified as a game? The day before is an MMO, massively multiplayer online game, with the option to play offline currently under consideration. The game's data is processed on the server, similar to other games such as WoW and DayZ. And again, because this is the next lot of their FAQ, it says Common Questions, Part 2, is a beta version of the day before currently available or planned for release before the official launch. At this time, a beta version of the day before is unavailable, and no information about when a beta may be released. However, we will announce any updates or plans for a beta through our social media accounts and website. So please stay tuned for updates. We will have a pre-launch beta, but only for thousands of lucky ones. And then the final one, will there be a limit on the number of players on the day before servers? As an MMO, the player cap for the day before is expected to be set relatively high. However, at this time, we do not have a specific number to share. Please stay tuned for updates. Then there was also talks of like private or custom servers, and they said it needs to be determined whether it will be an option or not in the game. So they're talking about this stuff. Like, this was posted the 31st of December 2022, so like a little over 2 months before their launch. And they're saying they can't put numbers on how many players will be on the servers. They don't know when the betas come in. They keep banging on about the beta only being given to thousands of lucky ones. They're saying that they're still making new breakthroughs every week, and this game's a fucking mess, if I'm completely honest. At this stage, I don't have any future videos for it until March, or if there's an announcement or anything like that, because I've shown so many comparisons now. I've shown 5 comparisons, I think it is, which, there shouldn't even be that many comparisons of things that are close in similarities to other games. There shouldn't be that many to show from the small amount of gameplay we've seen, or quote-unquote gameplay. But based on the couple of little trailers we've had, I've shown 5 comparisons for it. I've spoken about all the red flags, I've done research on the company's history, and everything just seems dodgy. So, as far as I'm concerned, for the time being, unless I can come up with another topic to talk about, I don't have any other content planned for this game, maybe besides one video. And I'm not going to give away anything regarding that video. It will not be talking about the development of it and how it's a scam or anything like that. It's a completely different topic, but that's if I ever release that video. We will have to see. But I hope this game is real. I really do. I can't see it being real in any way, shape or form. I mean, it's probably a game, but whether that game's going to be anything near what they've shown, I don't believe it at all. Shady history, too much similar to other games, nothing unique, original and created by them. They've just basically robbed Life is Strange 2's shop and fucking rotated some items in there. But that was a look at some screenshots and a very long video. I do apologise, but it's my last one, so I thought I'd leave the game for now on a big note and kind of reveal as much as I've got left in the tank for the time being. I want these developers to come out and say, look, here's a beta, here's some actual gameplay, this is a real game, but I can't see it happening. We're less than 2 months away. They haven't said a word outside of their Nvidia 20-second special announcement mega event, and then just promoting their own continent app and just talking about, oh, thanks Nvidia for giving us all these brand new Lenovo Thinkpads and all this sort of rubbish. I am done for now. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments, and check out this video if you want to see other content on the channel. I will see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.